second.
Psychic medium Debbie Romero here from the sunny California. Today we have a beautiful soul in my presence, my little nephew, Junior. Introduce yourself, Junior.
How you doing, Auntie? It's good to see you. Thank you for having me here. For myself, this is JR Junior, Cali Spinus 619 on TikTok. You can find me. That's all I'm on right now.
Okay.
But born and raised SanDiego, California.
Yeah.
And we'll get in. I joined the military. Got out now. Now we're building ourselves up, but here we are now. You know, just.
Right. And you know, like as you say that, there's a huge part of your life that I feel as I see you on TikTok and I see you in your positive stream and you're doing a lot of positive things for the community. What inspires you to be where you are today, to bring that light while you're shining for others?
Absolutely. So for me, the biggest thing I would say is gonna be gratitude. Having that attitude of gratitude, right? Attitude is gratitude. I remember seeing a video, I can't remember exactly who it was, but attitude is gratitude. The way you look at everything is gonna be that it's gonna give you that power to keep on going. You know, the more you tap into your gratitude, it unlocks so much more, to me at least.
Yeah. There's not only the spirit of gratitude, but there's an energy that comes behind that allows us to appreciate everything, not just the big things, but the little things. And so you mentioned that you were part of the military, and tell me, what age did you go into the service? And thank you for being serving for all of us to have this life that we have that is protected by people like you. So thank you for serving.
Thank you so much, Auntie. I was 20 years old when I decided to join the U.S. Army. I was the infantry, jump out of airplanes as well.
Yes.
Straight to Italy, but for myself, it was an amazing experience to be able to see the world, to go travel. But then it was also, where life started, where I was like, life hit you, from different ways, just my darkest days, my roughest days, the days that I didn't think, or even at times I didn't even think it was a problem.
Right.
And then fast forward, through it, we survived. I got out, God is good, but ultimately nobody talks about what happens when you have to get out and you have to figure life out.
Right.
So for myself, it was always trying to figure it out or survive. How am I gonna survive? Because for myself, it wasn't the prettiest, getting out, having to deal with my own different darkness and, weaknesses. But again, it was my purpose, it was my plan, and no matter what we go through, no matter what we have to go through, don't allow that to be the end.
Ooh.
So for myself, I didn't allow it to take me out.
Right.
Thinking, oh, how am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna make it? I tapped into what I could.
Ooh, that's a powerful word to say. You tap in. You talked about a couple of different aspects of what you experienced, and you chose to go into the military and to go into brotherhood, and you chose to take this path that was different. You sound very proud of where you come from the 619 SanDiego area, and I can hear that within your spirit. So you spoke of dark days that nobody talks about. How can you describe that for someone who's stepping out for the very first time, what to be prepared for when you have those moments of a little bit of heaviness?
In those moments, I would recommend tapping into what it is that gives you that energy to keep going. For myself, it was nature. Yeah. For myself, it was going hiking. I was overweight after I got out. I was dealing with alcoholism, depression, all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. For myself, I knew I couldn't. I was like, I can't do this every day, Right. I can't keep living like this. So, beating myself up, or being like, to me it was always, you're your biggest critic. You are the hardest on yourself. Why? I don't understand why, but maybe because we deserve better. We know where we're gonna be. We know that there is better for us, and the biggest thing for me was tapping into nature, that energy, that universal wisdom, that creator energy, Mother Earth, being able to go hiking and focusing on myself, my health, pushing me, more than, I like remember from the military. So then I started going with that route and just trying to dig into, the positivity scene, the nothing but light and good energy, because at the end of the day, I've tried the other ways. I've tried,
you've lived it, you experienced it, so you're healing from it. And the way I look at it is like, you did it. It can't hurt you again. You already went. Feel like you found a safe haven to swim through those layers of those hard knock moments.
Absolutely.
And so I think there's a lot of grace and beauty in that, because it takes great courage to be able to want to change for better.
Absolutely.
To step into evolve. And then now you're holding space for people, because you work at a physical fitness center.
24-hour fitness, y'all.
We're LA Fitness here, y'all. This is 24-hour.
I love LA Fitness.
No, just look, exercise is exercise, And he's got the SanDiego beach, we got the 805 shores, There's a little rivalry going here, a little line. Let me throw a little football this way. But for real, it's like, I love that you say it's the passion, but I also feel like we lose that passion when we're feeling bad for the moment of those hard life situations, responsibilities. We get so overwhelmed with responsibilities, and there are some that just can feel like, I can't, don't come at me with nothing, don't ask me for nothing. It's a no, a straight up no, right? And that's when you've exhausted all, like the passion. You took the fire at one point. I don't have that right now. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, And so I feel like, you said to me, Auntie, I saw my first question in this journey, what is the fire of why you start, in your journey? So I'm gonna ask you that question. Cousin Junior here, I say, what sets your soul on fire to create movement within your soul and within your journey?
Just that gratitude again, being able to be grateful for everything that we do have, being able to be grateful for nature, being able to be grateful for, again, I'm a believer. I started going back to church, so just being able to put it all together and trust what God's doing, understanding that where we're at today, or where you're at, again, you might be in your worst right now, but you have that ability to just keep showing up. As long as you keep showing up and for something. For me, it's gonna be my nature. It's gonna be the fact that I believe in more now. Before it was like, man, how am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna survive? But now it's like, man, I could see. I can see what it is that God wants to do. I can see, what it is that He's doing in my life, or I can see, just the power, right?
Right. I also feel that it reminds me of a friend that I met recently this year. His name is Drew. Shout out, Drew.
Drew.
And he's like, today on his TikTok, he was, don't quit.
Yeah.
Do not quit.
You have no reason to quit.
And when you were speaking, right? When you're speaking and you were talking about it, like, don't quit. But I also feel like there's movement that you witness not only from God, but within your own spirit, because you chose not to quit. You continue to move forward and you continue to evolve. And sometimes when we're in transformation, you don't even realize that you're in it because you're in it. So I want to pause, because you have transformed from the times that you speak of, that I'm listening to your story to where you are today. So I want to say be proud.
Thank you.
Of the positive affirmations that you use, these beautiful words that I follow. You have spoken life back into your spirit. And I find that there is a moment of despair. There can be moments of confusion.
Absolutely.
And there could be moments of heartache, and there's a lot of unhappiness when we go through those dark shadows of the night of whatever one's soul is feeling helpless. And we sit here and we won't say that we did not go through those moments.
Yep.
But something in your spirit, it reminds me, like, you know, you're in there and you're doing your drills and you're in the dirt and you're in that mud and you're going through the ladder underneath it and you're like moving through the dirt, but you did it. And then you have someone in your head yelling at you to go, go, go. I feel like, what is that voice in your spirit that's telling you to go? What do you hear? Because you said, I got a premonition from seeing what my counselor showed me. Who's the voice in your head telling you to go?
Myself, God, all of us, because it's like, I mean, just being able, you have to dig deep for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to show up for yourself, y'all. We might not be 100% all the time, like we said, you know. Some days I might not look the most positive.
Right.
I might not look like good energy, or, you know, I'm going through my own. But one practice that I have learn to put into play, and you know, how to create that joy inside of you, is gonna be your music. Ooh. Find a song, the one thing that, like, okay, you're what, 80s, 90s, mom would always be jamming, right? Playing the old school lowrider music, our Chicano music, right? But it gives you that energy, you know. If you can play a song that picks you up, I bet you won't even think about what you're going through.
You know, it's so true. I used to be the girl that would turn on the music and clean. I'll be washing dishes, doing the most thing I dislike is to clean the house. And those who follow me know I don't like to be in the kitchen. I refuse. After, you know, the last 5 years, I retired that hat. So as I say that, I definitely go in here and there. But the cumbias and the bailes and all that, it is truly music for the soul. And I think what you're speaking of today is a reminder for those who maybe don't follow energy but want a deeper understanding. As a psychic medium, I not only am trained to work with energy, but I'm also know what it feels like. And what you've given is a beautiful example of how energy moves through your soul, not only through song, but through nature. Everything of consciousness has a vibration. We are all psychic, and we can all use our hands to feel, our eyes, our ears. You know, all our senses are awakened to what's truly around us. Your mother's love, how her spirit changes. And so when we sit in that and we feel it, sometimes we can't put words to the energy, or we can't put words to why the music is changing us. But because energy doesn't die, we are creating change into transformation. And I think listening to you, you have gone from frequency to change, and you have evolved in many forms of who you've become, not only because of choosing to step away as an adult to be in the service, to coming home and then watching your mom go through her things. I mean, man, that is powerful, very powerful.
And the biggest thing too is, you know, being able to just, again, wherever you guys are today, tapping into whatever it is that's gonna pick you up for that day. If it's a walk around the park, if it's going to the beach, if it's going to eat something that you like. But like for me, y'all, you just have to tap into what it is that's gonna move you forward. All of us, we're all different. We all, you know, go through what we have to go through, but I will challenge you to grow through it. Don't just go through it. Don't just survive. Learn, you know, see how you can be better for yourself and the people around you. Yeah. And sorry to cut you off.
You did not cut me off, not at all.
Gratitude again, y'all, because I mean, from as simple as, like I was talking about, our frequencies, right? You can have your depression, you can have your jealousy, you can have your hate, you can have all those ones that make you feel ugh, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead and try to do gratitude. You can go with joy, you can go with peace, you can go with love, you can go with abundance, you can go with, so much more of the better frequencies that make you feel so good, right? And that, I would say, is probably one of my biggest things. I listen to frequencies. I listen to I did get to, what really opened me up to that is I would literally be in the midst and I would play, mom also, I'm going to go back and forth a little bit, sorry y'all, but mom was sick. My dad was sick. I remember with my mom, I remember just like my view of all the great teachers were at the table, Jesus and everybody's religious, and I just remember putting my faith and trust into that with my mom's, when she was sick, or my dad when he was sick. So for me alone, I would say, y'all, being able to just tap into all of that you have, being able to, the biggest thing is believing it before it happens, manifesting it.
Yeah. And, I was trained and taught to use the frequency to help people who are sick. So when you were saying how you were studying it and you went through watching your parents go through a change in life, it is also a wake-up call to change is needed. And you witnessed that. You witnessed your parents needing to make corrections or changes for their well-being. And I heard you say when you walked in the door, man, Pops is doing good. I got him in the gym with me 5 days a week. And so, I think there's a lot of awakening that takes place. We just don't know how, again, to put words to it, right? And I want to say there was a reason that you had the eyes to see the things that you had to see. Absolutely. to help them move through what they were going through. You were the eyes that they needed as a child to help them evolve and into health, into living, into expansion, to continue, and so everything is frequency. I want to express, we can tap into joy, we can tap into abundance, and there's so much beauty in that. And that's okay if you have to deal with hard stuff. It's okay if you have to every now and then be in the vibration of if you're worried just a bit. It's okay. It's okay if you have that little bit of fear. It's okay. You can always raise and elevate. We go from one vibration to another. So those that are in here listening, don't be hard on yourself if you're in that state of trying to put it together, the bad days and the good days. Every day to a positive gratitude or thought creates an action into more.
Come on.
So
come on. And that's where most of my posts are gonna come off of that. It's gonna be just gratitude, because at the end of the day, that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Understanding, you wake up and of course you're gonna do, I would wholeheartedly recommend prayer life, meditation, listen to some frequencies. But whatever it is that's gonna raise your spirit, right?
What do you say to people when you're like that? Look, you obviously were in the trenches. Obviously were going through some stuff. You battled your own self, and now you chose to take step into prayer. Some people would look at it, there they are doing their woo-woo things, and they're out there in their prayer. Like, how do you...
For me...
Because you're a young man. You're a young man. Like, what happens to you when people like, man, cuz, or bro, what are you doing? Like, for those that are listening who are babies that want to try that prayer life or meditation, what advice will you give them when they're in silence? Like, what would you tell them when someone comes at them like, ¿qué es eso?
I still have my days. People throw some negativity at us.
Yeah.
And, for me, I've learned, you just gotta control your frequenry, right?
Yeah.
And you have to do, to me, what was I gonna say really quick?
He's like, wait a minute, they were mean to me. Let me go. Who was it, cousin? Tell me, who was it?
Because you're still gonna have those days, y'all.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have the days they cut you off, or they say the right thing, and you're like, man, I had the other day, one guy smacked the sign out of my hand at work, and I got I said, oh man, but they got my other side, but to me, I didn't feel good.
Right.
I didn't feel good, so instantly I could feel that energy with that feeling, right? And it was like, man. So the biggest thing is just continuing to control what you can control.
I agree.
You know?
So there's emotional intelligence that we're speaking of, having control of our emotions, having control over how we respond to the negativity.
Taking that second.
Not everybody needs a reaction, but also too, that was a quick glimpse, is just because we pray and we meditate, we don't mean that we don't have that fire in us, you know. It doesn't mean that we can't get mad. I think it's important to honor the frustration that comes with that. I feel like, yes, there's balance. Yes, it's act of kindness, but also you're human. You're allowed to have that compassion. So lucky for that person, you gave him grace.
And then the biggest thing too lately is it goes back to, you know, the Bible and my foundation, treating others how you want to be treated, and love your neighbor as you'd love yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, and then ultimately love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. So to me, it's like I literally use that to still, some days I'll think real quick if it's, you know, but then I go, how would you want to be treated?
Yeah.
How would you treat, you know, or is that really loving, or are you just throwing more negativity out there into the world when reality, that smile could change somebody else's life, somebody else's day. I've been noticing myself, y'all. So with that being said, I went to church and I'm like, man, so just the sensitivity to everything right now has been so real, and knowing that our thoughts control everything.
Yeah.
If you are going through it and you're constantly just beating yourself up and you're constantly staying in those frequencies that we don't like, what is it gonna do to you? It's gonna keep you there.
I think that when you say that, look, you just stopped and you made a change. What you're saying, you're choosing to let go of a vice, right? I wanna let people know, and for you to know, like, it doesn't change who you are as a person, because you're still a great person.
Absolutely.
And you still have a beautiful spirit and a soul. Absolutely. And for you to have clarity, that makes me happy, you know, that I hear you saying, I have clarity today. And this is a beautiful example of how you're still able to tap in. You use the word tap in quite a bit. And for us, we use it as channeling. The energy goes where your awareness goes. So you have chosen to put your awareness into a different light, into a different lane, right?
Into what can actually help us and what can change us, right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, is because you can be going through it, but if you're constantly soaking in it, are you really gonna get out of it? I would challenge you to make the necessary steps, even if it's one step, you know, a week. But I would say just start doing things that right? What do they say? You can't do the same thing and expect a different result.
Right.
So,
and I think this is also a reminder, is like, every day is a day to change.
Absolutely.
Every day. You know, so this is for those that are listening, or even find this podcast, like, find one thing that enlightens your soul.
One.
That's Junior's thought that he comes in with. And that's also a reflection and a reminder to us, to ourselves, what is our passion? And you use prayer. What makes you have joy? What makes you have peace? And tap into those things. So, Junior, thank you for being a guest today on Inspire.
Thank you so much, Auntie. It's been a blessing.
A pleasure having you here.
Pleasure being here all the way from SanDiego.
Oh, he's so...
We made the little 4-hour drive, but I promise you it won't be the last time, because, y'all, I love it out here.
Yes.
I love it out here, and it's been a pleasure.
It is. It's beautiful out here. So, you guys, from 619 to the 805 to you, the collective, give Junior a follow. Give your tickety talk.
Cali's finest, 619. Positive vibes, good energy. The way I flow on there is you never know who's going to come into your life. I don't know how many times, I can't count, but so many times TikTok will be 1 to 2 to 5 people that need that prayer, that want to tap into God. You know, again, however you look at that energy, you can look at it as that universal wisdom. You can look at it as Mother Earth, Creator, or whatever you want to look at it as. Just know the complexity of this world. There's no way there can't be something.
Yes, you guys, tune in. Till next time, God bless. Thank you.